First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. There is one correction to the agenda under new business action item 1. You'll note on the revised agenda in front of you, we're taking out the words accepting the public improvements and adding in approving the issuance of building permits. That is in front of you. That's the only correction I have. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mordini?
Yes.
Sarchet?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Dvorak?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is public comments. It's time and place for any comments on any item other than those that are on a public hearing. Easy for me to say. Anybody wish to address the council at this time? Hearing none or seeing none, moving on to consent agenda. Take a motion.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Dvorak?
Yes.
Mordini?
Yes.
Sarchet?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Motion carries. Before we move on, I'll call attention to item 12. Sarah Olson is in the audience tonight. Sarah, raise your hand. Say hi. New member to our library board, filling Mandy Vogel's seat. She's already been to one meeting, and now it's official. Welcome.
Thank you.
Moving on, item 6, new business, action item 1, consider the motion to approve resolution 2017-127, approving the issuance of building permits associated with Deer Haven Plat 1 and Deer Haven Plat 2. Gary.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution was substituted. Doesn't quite go as far as original in your packet. This resolution does allow for the issuance of building permits and the completion of building permits. It is the thought that the public improvements will be before the council in the first meeting in January. There is one punch list item that is left that is in the paperwork that's on the dais in front of you. And there's also a letter from Alliance, who is the paving contractor, that says he will get that information or get that project completed. Kathleen, do you have any?
No, I think that's it. Covered it well.
Any questions from council? Yes, sir.
Just I noticed he couldn't make it here tonight, but I'm not sure if you would know or not. Do you know if on the electric, if they're going to be going through with the winter charges?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I had got a couple calls on this today, and one was wondering, they had heard otherwise that they'd have to wait till April, which, as obviously would hurt their building cycle. But and then that might answer the next question, because their next question was, if not, do they have a permanent propane tank there? And I'm sure the developer probably doesn't want that, but was a question. So that answers that too. So thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Motion.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Sarchet?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Dvorak?
Yes.
Mordini?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2, Davis Street Reconstruction Project. Under 2A, consider motion to approve resolution 2017-136, approving contract and bond. Gary, you want to speak to the whole thing?
Yes, I can. This is the Davis Street project. Things are moving along. In fact, if you've been up in that area, you'll see that Mid-American is already starting to set poles. And you'll see that as part of the agenda items as we go down. Resolution 2017-136 approves a contract and bond for the contractor Absolute Concrete. We had a very good bid that came in under engineer's estimate. You always like when the engineer is not the low bid. Item next, 2017-137 is a permanent sewer easement. This is a storm sewer easement where we had to go between 2 yards as we were picking up water, so it was not an overland water issue. There's a bunch of temporary easements where we're going to be needing to be in the people's front yards as we start doing some grading. That is item C. There is an easement by Mid-American that they need an anchor on one of the poles. That will be at the corner of 3rd and Davis in the property that the city owns there, often called the Harvey property. And there's Commissioners, item E is the supplement for engineering services for the construction phase of this project.
So we talked about it before, Mike, but just an update from the last time and again, you're all over this in terms of talking to the people out there, but any other feedback that you've got recently? I'm assuming that just the addition of curb and gutter and sidewalks is huge benefit to those folks, and I think the feedback has been that way. Not to speak for you, but anything new recently?
And taking care of the drainage issues, there's some pretty major drainage issues that's going to be taken care of. But no, I haven't really heard anything lately.
And again, we did go above and beyond up there compared to some of the other projects we've done.
I had just a question of information on the bond. I just wanted to make sure. In one of the paragraphs, it talks about the penal sum for maintenance shall be reduced, but there's no reduction in the sum. It's in the after Davis Street reconstruction project on the bond.
Which page?
It's page 37 as it lays out on our iPad. I don't know how that happens. Works for you.
Can you
It's
paragraph number?
it's I don't know, containing which C6. It's right after C6 or C7.
It's a surety bond.
The surety bond at the start of it. My only question is you have the same figure in both places, but it talks about a possible reduction in between. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't supposed to be a different number in the second one.
I know it's a standard language.
Is provided, however, that 1 year after the date of acceptance as complete work under above reference contract, the maintenance portion of this bond shall continue in force, but the penal sum for maintenance shall be reduced. The sum of
Yeah, in your situation, the performance bond and the maintenance bond amounts are the same, so
okay.
that's why,
So there is no reduction.
so there's no reduction, right?
Okay.
Your performance bond amount is up in the first paragraph, your maintenance bond is the second, and there is no reduction in this
All right.
situation, so it
Thanks.
should be fine.
Just to follow logically
Yeah.
for me.
Anybody else have anything else?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2017-136.
Second. Roll call?
Dvorak,
Yes.
Mordini,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item B, consider motion to approve resolution 2017-137, accepting a permanent public sewer easement. Motion.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mordini,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Motion carries. Item C, consider motion to approve resolution 2017-140, accepting temporary construction easements. Motion.
So is
Second. Roll call.
Mordini,
Yes.
Sarchet, Lane,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes. Motion carries. Item D, consider motion to approve resolution 2017-141, approving an anchor easement for new construction of overhead electrical distribution system. Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Lane,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Mordini,
Yes.
Sarchet.
Motion carries. And finally, item E, consider motion to approve a supplement to the engineering service agreement for construction phase services. Motion, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Dvorak,
Yes.
Mordini.
Yes. Motion carries. Item 3, consider motion to approve third reading of ordinance 2017-1000, amending sidewalk ordinance on chapter 136. Motion.
Move to approve the third reading of ordinance 2017-1000, amending sidewalk ordinance chapter 136, and send it on for publishing as required by law.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sarchet,
Last.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Dvorak, Mordini.
Motion carries. Item 7, Mayor's Report. Got a couple things tonight, and then I'll get into these next, I guess. Couple things. First is, obviously, I want to thank all of staff, Public Works, Fire Department, Police Department, city staff, chamber, local businesses. I don't know who else to thank. Everybody who came out for the square lighting. Santa for coming out to the square lighting last Tuesday. Again, just an amazing event. But Mike, I thanked you guys then. I'll thank you again publicly. You guys go above and beyond for this. I saw 4 of your guys down there wanting to make sure all the lights worked, including one that was maybe or maybe not hiding out in the bandstand when we flipped the switch. I won't say anything about that. But he did a good job. Timing was great. But the one thing I'll say is you can tell you guys are committed to it, and they really care about it. And I saw them down here half of an hour before the event started. Everybody was making sure all the plugs were plugged in, and don't get used to having weather like this to set the lights up in, obviously. But great job, and city staff, you guys did a fabulous job all the way around, top to bottom. Police, fire, I didn't use that thing, but lots of happy people. Got around to see, I think, virtually every business on the square. Lots of happy business owners. Lots of happy business owners. So just a great night. Couple other things going on. Just a reminder, because the media has been kind of hitting on it, that we still are not allowing for fireworks to be discharged in the city of Polk City this time of year throughout the Christmas time, I guess. So we're still staying the course. We're still, we actually were one of the ones who early on said we weren't going to allow them this time of year. I did have a meeting this last week with Supervisor Brownell to discuss this as well as a number of other topics. I still think we'll see some other things coming down as time goes on. But just a reminder to anybody watching, we do not allow discharging of fireworks. And if you do, Trace will come pay you a visit. Right?
Nope.
Yep.
Or one of my designees.
Or one of your designees. All right. Now you personally. All right. Just checking it. Yeah, one of the chiefs of the law. Reminder that right now, John Calhoun is technically, officially, he claims he's retiring at the end of this year, so I'll believe it when I see it. But he does have a retirement party going on down at Legion Hall for anybody who's available after the meeting and wants to go. Pay your wishes to him. And then lastly, thank you to all for a really, really good, productive 2017, and looking forward to 2018 and all that's to come. And with that, I'll get into a couple of quick recognitions. Sorry, resignation.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, Freudian slip. So I'll start with Dan Lane. We got these nice little. So I will.
Come in green and
I didn't pick the colors. These are, oh boy, these might be bad for you, right? Jeez. So it says, presented to Dan Lane, council member for 16 years of dedicated service to the city of Polk City. Dan, you got the camera?
Yep.
Okay, stand up and do that. So we'll give you guys this. Dan? All right. Thank you. Got it?
Yep.
Excellent. Get that nice blue box. Go with a green sticky note. Like that. Okay. Council. Also presented to Rob Mordini, council member for 12 years of dedicated service. Your Honor. Your Excellency. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. That's all I have. I will move on now and allow you guys to speak to that. So, Councilman Lane.
Well, I don't really have much of anything other than to say it's been an honor to serve for 16 years. Other than being a parent, I consider this to have been the most important job that I've ever had. I've always taken it very seriously, tried to be as prepared as I could be for every meeting. I'm very proud of the Des Moines Waterworks connection, hooking up to the WRA, and the new library are some of the highlights that happened while I was here. Now, I can't believe this is my last time, but thanks to all of the staff that have come and went and are still here. Enjoyed working with each and every one of you. And if there's ever any time you need to call me for something historical, I'll help you out. But like I've always said, if I can't impress you with my intelligence, I'll baffle you with my bullshit. With that, I'll hand it on.
Councilman Anderson, we have not heard from him. Mr. Dvorak.
I just like to thank both Rob and Dan for been on ever since I have been here, and for both of your the knowledge that you've given us on the dais, and the open dialogue we're always able to have, and not only up here but then also just in passing and talking, and certainly just the ability to have the opportunity to serve with both of you has been great, and I'm a better person for it, and really do appreciate all you've done for us and greatly miss.
Mr. Mordini.
I just got a couple of things here to say. Way back when I ran, people always ask you why you run. And of course, there's the canned answer of making a difference, because you do want to do that. I mean, that's the whole reason you get involved. I think it's a civic duty. But at the same time, I always been one that wants to stand for the little guy. And some people will say you can't fight all the battles, and that's true. But a lot of battles will never be fought if somebody didn't stand up, and I think that speaks for everybody here in the future as well. Fast forward to this point, why didn't you run? I've heard that 50 times. Quite honestly, it's the same thing as I've always said before. I've never looked at this as to be a career. I think that's one of the problems that plagues politicians is they stay for the wrong reasons and they get nothing done. But between this and my previous town that I lived in, just before terms, my kids were 1 and 3 when I started. Missed a lot of things, and there's still time to do some things with them before they're out and about on their own. And that takes precedence over anything. When I first ran here, I wasn't in town that long. And I remember specifically some of the things people told me. One of them is some very well-known people told me off because they didn't want more than 400 people in town. Some of those stories you still hear today. I had people tell me that they weren't going to vote for me because all I was going to do was give the PD everything they wanted. I mean, you learn a lot about people through this job. That's one thing I probably learned more than anything. But things aren't always as they seem, to say the least. You fast forward down the road, and I still hear people say they don't want things to grow. There's only so much we can do on that. I would then later hear from a union rep that I was going against the PD, which I've always supported them, but that just shows you how different the extremes can be on any issue. People will always say, I wish the city would do this. I wish the city would stand up and not have a development come in. I wish the city would bring in a business. I wish the city would. I've heard, and we've all heard that, but that's, a lot of the times people don't realize that's beyond the reach of what we can do up here. You just try to guide things the best way you can. Having said that, I can't think enough, all the city staff and departments, I think from City Hall, Public Works, Library, Engineer, Attorney, PD, Fire Department. I've said it before, and everybody else here has said it again, and it's true. I mean, we have the best we possibly ask for, and that's only just improving. Myself and others will be happy to tangle with department heads from time to time and vice versa, and I would like to think, or at least I'd hope they would think in the end that we do that for the best reasons possible, not just to get their goat. But at the end of the day, I've learned more from all these people that I've questioned than I could have ever hoped for. And all the way up to the county supervisors, I can't say thank you enough. When you run, and I've said this before, but when you run, you really put yourself out there. Some appreciate that, some don't. And that's just the way it's going to be. But at the end of the day, I've always stood for the facts, no matter how popular or unpopular that is. And for many people, they didn't like that, and I respect their opinion. But just like everybody else, we all have opinions, but facts don't change. So at the end of the day, that's what I've tried to stand for. And I think if you look back, whether it's my 12 years, Dan's 16 or 15 before that, the city's in a better position now than they ever have been. And so contrary to all the rumors out there, there's some bright days ahead, and don't let anybody tell anybody different. And that's one thing I guess I would hope in the future that people pick up the slack on. And, people always call you outspoken and all these other adjectives, which I can't say in front of a camera. But I hope people remember that it's not always, do the right thing, not the popular thing. If you do the right thing and support the facts, the votes will come. You don't need to pander to anything else. And, that's not always been popular. I mean, I remember letters to the editor. I remember certain people in town shooting signs with shotguns, on and on and on, because you did the right thing. But you know what? I'd do it all over again, and I'd just do it twice as hard the next time, quite honestly. But at the end of the day, I just want to thank Polk City for believing in me, taking a chance in me, never giving up, even though sometimes you really scratch your head and think, what is he really saying? Most of these things come full circle in the end. I appreciate those that have reached out and asked me to run for other things. Time will tell on that. I'll just let that linger for a little while. But I will be forever grateful for everybody's time, patience, and support. So, thank you.
You want to follow that up?
I really don't.
Just asking.
Thank you for whoever put the order together for this. I'll blame you. I know. I don't want to take too much away. I do need to say something real quick on the square lighting. Mike, Daniel, Lindsay, Jenny, I shouldn't be singling people out, but I'm always proud to be from this town, and I think that's the most true on square lighting night. It's just a really neat event, and try not to be swayed by the point in life that I'm at with little kids, but I think I am for that night. But nonetheless, it's a really neat thing. So great job to everybody there. But again, I want to focus on the last night with Rob, Dan here. I appreciated both you guys. I've learned from both of you guys. I think this perspective up here is a little bit different and one that changes your vantage point, so to speak. I've appreciated the work that you guys have done. We've agreed and disagreed, but I think that you've got a couple exiting very principled people that we will struggle to fill the spots with. But I'm excited where we're going and how that's going to look. And I completely agree that our job next year and ongoing will be to maintain the good position of the brand. You guys are both very responsible for that. So there aren't a lot of things to fix. There's a lot of things to make better, obviously, but as a tremendous job, and it's been my pleasure to serve.
Council discussion, and I will echo all the same comments with you guys. I wanted to give you guys flax and all that other stuff, but for me, it goes back to when I started coming to council meetings back in 2003. And Rob, I remember meeting you for the first time and thinking as well that you were going to give the police department everything and the fire department was going to get nothing at that point in time. So you kind of reminded me of that actually when you spoke. But no, I've had the honor of working with both you guys, both as a department head as well as sitting up here for the last 4 years. I will miss some of the friendly banter that has been known to happen up here from time to time. But since Ron's not here, I think it's one of the other important things. I know that Ron has said time and time again is that at the end of the day, I think we all, even if we have disagreements up here, we all walk away, friendly environment, able to have good conversation. It's never taking a person. I know if Ron was here, he would say something to that effect. So I would definitely say that in his absence. Again, appreciate work both. Yeah.
I would like to touch on something you said there.
Oh, please do. Please.
People often, if there's a few things I remember people saying over and over and over again.
Yeah.
One being the rubber stamp, which is
Right.
not true.
Not
Most
true.
homework is done before the meeting. But to my knowledge, I don't remember ever turning anything down over my tenure here to the PD or the fire department for that matter. But what in some other departments, I mean, you know. You got to get one more in. I'm sorry, but what I do think that's a testament to, though, is the department heads always coming here with their homework done.
Yep.
I don't recall really. I'm sure there's something, but I'm sure that I don't really recall somebody just coming here with a willy-nilly idea. They always had it spelled out, why you needed it, how much it was going to cost, where it was going to come from, etc. And that just makes our job easy. So, thank you.
I'll come back to that. Gary?
Don't have very much, Your Honor. I don't like to jump on bandwagons, but I am going to thank all of council for everything they've done and the support that they've given the staff. Especially want to give a shout out to Councilman Lang, Councilman Bordini for their support over the years, for the things I've learned from each of you. It's been very important and has furthered my career. Two other items, City Hall Christmas hours was supposed to be 4 hours on the day, Christmas Eve, 8 hours on Christmas. We will observe Christmas. However, staff has worked through themselves and through ourselves that we will be open on Friday, be open Tuesday. So the 22nd and 26th will be in full staff for us. So just put that out there. Fire department worked very well for Santa Claus this year. We had so many people. The line was reconfigured once. Next year we're going to reconfigure it again. People were not in the cold. There was a few that were outside, but they didn't stay there very long. I think it brought all of the businesses and those groups and organizations that are nonprofits in the community building a little closer to the action and weren't so far separated. And Rob, that was a great idea. It looks like it's going to be what we do as we go in the future. So that's all I have.
I'm telling you, two Santas. Two Santas. We just got to figure out how to not confuse the kids, but two Santas.
We'll figure it out.
Nice job. I also want to commend you. You just gave a shout out, right? You just gave you're appealing to the little kids on YouTube tonight. So I'm giving a shout out. Good job out of you.
It was my grandson that told me.
Was it? All right. Good job. Shout out. Good job. Attorney's report. I was going to comment also. I do want to make sure that on public record we did get it. Rob does appreciate all the work that the attorney do.
I did get.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. One last time. I just wanted to make sure that at the end of this that he did.
Strategically placed.
Yeah, it was. Just that Rob did actually thank legal. Appreciate it. Got that engineer's report.
Nothing other than happy holidays.
Mike?
Yeah, I preach teamwork to my staff, and I believe in it. I believe with teamwork in department heads and in departments, but some people kind of forget that council is the ultimate teamwork with the staff members too. And I really believe that I've had that with you two, and I believe that I still have that. And, backing our decisions and sticking up for us, that's pretty important. So thank you very much.
Got to watch those two coming in, though.
We'll train them.
Do you have something tonight? Do you really? Are you going to come out from behind the desk so we can see you? Okay. Just checking.
Completely change the topics of the whole night.
And then go back to your desk.
So our website will look just slightly different. We finished the migration to our own secure server, so we now have a nice little green block on the website, everything's encrypted, and it's a GeoTrust certificate, that fun stuff. So that will also be much more stable. We're going to have a lot less issues of we got basically too popular and too many people trying to click on our stuff once we put it out. So now we're going to be able to handle that. And then we did also find a email issue where the links were going out that were broken for some people, and that's been fixed too. So website migration is done, and things should work a lot better now.
Nice job.
That's
Thanks.
all.
Finance.
Just wanted to thank Rob and Dan for the opportunity to work with them.
Fire department. Police department.
I said one quick thing. We've had some complaints of speeding around with the new Deer Haven Road and the cross streets connecting. And we, just to let all you guys know, if we ask you questions and the public know, we're aware of it. And we're monitoring it, and we're using all the means at our disposal to make sure that if there is an issue, we mitigate it.
Kind of curious how they're doing with that speed bump. It's kind of that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you hit that once. I think it's broken.
My boy asked me, he said, why do they do this?
Yeah.
So,
Water.
Water.
Well, it's more of the complaints of the existing streets
Oh.
connecting. And I think it's a lot of mostly contractor traffic is what that's because nobody lives out there right now. So
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Perfect. Library? Nothing? Nobody from neighborhood citizens group? Which one of you boys would like to be last?
Second.
All in favor?
Twice in 12 years. That's hard.
Twice in 12 years.
116.